Hello and welcome to episode 35 of the Championship Rounds podcast. We're going to be previewing the Japanese card on Monday first, or in this episode. But first off, it's been an absolutely wild sort of 24 hours, 36 hours in Riyadh. Daniel Dubois pulls out of his fight against Joseph Parker, and Martin Bakole steps in on 2 days' notice, and is currently, as we record this, is at an airport somewhere in Africa, trying to get to Riyadh. So who knows? Who knows if this fight even is going to happen? Because if he turns up, like, who knows? But yeah, it's been a wild sort of day and a half.
Yeah, so like he supposedly had like a fight scheduled for May, and that would mean maybe he's been training for a week at most, maybe.
I don't believe that.
I don't know if his training camp has started. If it has started, it hadn't started not long ago. So I mean, he's probably getting off the couch, basically. I mean, like, it's not like he's in like crazy shape as it is.
I mean,
but
if he was training, he would be in Scotland, though. He would be in Airdrie. And he isn't in Airdrie, obviously. He's been in Congo.
maybe he was just doing some sort of stuff in the Congo, and then he was about to go to Scotland before, he got the call.
I feel like it's safe to say he's been doing near to nothing. This is just a late notice call, but at least it's not like David Adelaide.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse. Like, this is a really, really good replacement, but it's like Bakole is one of these guys that blows up in weight between camps, between fights, sort of thing. Like, so you don't really know what Bakole you're going to get.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty confident on what Cody we're going to get. That's why I'm not picking him to win.
Yeah, I'd like. He's probably going to have like about 4 or 5 good rounds in him, and then after that, like, he's going to be gassed. He's going to be like the Congolese Zhilei Zhang. He's going to have like 4 good rounds in him, and then yeah, if Park can survive that, then like I think he'll might even stop Bakole late.
Oh, yeah, Parker has like no killer instinct. I mean, look, I wouldn't even pick Bakole to beat Parker with a full camp, so let alone just coming off the couch, or maybe slightly trained for a few days or a week at best.
Regardless, he will even be in Saudi Arabia for a whole day before the fight.
Maybe.
No, he won't, because he's been apparently he's landing in Saudi at 2 a.m. local time, and like the fight is scheduled to be at about 1 local time.
Oh, brilliant.
So like he's not going to be in Saudi Arabia a day. Like, he's not going to be acclimated. Like, he's landing, like weighing in, going to bed and getting up and fighting, sort of thing.
He must be getting a huge purse.
Yeah, huge.
Look, either way, I mean, he saved us having to watch the worst fighters. So, shout out to him.
Yeah, good. Like, it could have been Joseph Parker against Lawrence Agote.
Yeah. Or David Adelaide.
Which would have been one of the worst fights in recent time.
Imagine watching a 260-pound Lawrence Okoli plod forward.
Joseph
Trying
Parker
to.
tippy tapping him. But yeah, it's not. But yeah, I think Parker on point is
Look,
the
Joseph Parker's gonna outbox a lethargic and not in great shape Lawrence Okoli. Spoilers.
Yep.
and this is for the interim title, so like the winner is mandatory for Usyk allegedly, even though like the WBO so they won't call it. They'll let Dubois fight Usyk.
The winner should fight Dubois.
I'd rather see the winner of this fight Usyk than Dubois fight Usyk, if I'm being honest. I've already seen Dubois fight Usyk. I've already seen him lose every round and get stopped. Like, I don't need to see that again. Like,
I really don't care to see that fight at all.
yeah, I agree.
I
Like,
honestly barely care to see him fight Parker or Bakole, but I really don't care to see him fight Dubois, considering, like you said, we've already seen it and it was one-sided. All people talk about is the fake low blow, and it's aggravating.
yeah, like, if Usyk's gonna fight on, I'd rather see him fighting you guys. Like, even though I was picking Dubois to beat Parker, like, Parker's got, well, at least we haven't seen him lose every round to Usyk. Like, it's just like fight someone new. Like Usyk at heavyweight, it's just been rematch after rematch after rematch. Like it's just been boring. Like it's been really really good, but he's fought what 3 opponents in 4 years.
Well, in his defense, he had to make those.
Yeah, like yeah, it's not like a slight on Usyk. Like he's beating really good fighters, and to make those fights, he had to take rematches and stuff. But like, and obviously Dubois was a mandatory. But like, I'd for me, I'd rather see him fight someone new. Like. It's wild. It is wild to think he's only fought 3 opponents since 2020. Like since the start of 2021, he's fought Joshua, Fury, and Dubois, and that's it.
Well, I mean, those are great, to be honest.
Yeah, they are. They are like it's weird. I'm not like slating him for it. I'm not slating the wins because they are good wins, but like I want to see him fight someone else. I don't really want to see him fight Dubois. I've seen it. Like
Like, if he
I didn't
fights
need.
Dubois, I get it. Like he's a champion
Yeah,
of the belt, and he's come back, I guess, from that loss. But I mean, it's not going to go any differently.
It's going to end quicker, probably.
It might go differently. I don't like Dubois
Like
might
he
not.
might,
He will still,
yeah, he might not get stopped this time.
Yeah,
he'll still get dominated and exhausted by halfway through the fight, trying to knock Usyk's head off. But
yeah. It might go to points though.
I just don't care to ever see that.
Yeah, it's what it is. Like, yeah, it's a wild day in Riyadh. Like, we're talking about that. Like, the fight still might not even happen. Like, you don't know what Bakole's gonna get to Riyadh. Like, who knows, man? Who knows? But it is for the WBO interim title, so there is that. Yeah. Yeah, moving on. We'll talk about Saturday night first. We'll leave the Japanese cards later. Luis Neri returns to the ring in Tijuana against Kiyosuke Kameda. In what should be like if any fight's gonna end in a DQ, it's this one.
There. I'll put on the over under a point deduction. I'd smash the over so
Yeah.
quickly. they're two like devils in the ring, to be honest. In and
It's going to be crazy.
What weight is this fight at?
Feather, I believe. I believe it's feather.
it has to be feather.
That would make sense. I mean, it doesn't say a weight on box, right?
Well, that's common with that interesting website. But no, I think I think Neri just moved up to featherweight. I think.
I think he's moved up for this fight. Like he can drop that down. Like he can make 122.
I think he should stay at featherweight. It's a better division than 122. I mean,
You just
who else is
know
he going to fight?
the power will still be there. Anyway.
Yeah, like who else is he going to fight? He's fought anyway already. Casemiro maybe, but that's not going to happen, is it? Can you imagine that those two actually fighting? No.
Ito was teasing that fight last year. He said he wanted Neri Casemiro.
Yeah,
That would
just
be
not
crazy
happening.
as well. That'd be
That
crazy as
would
well.
95% end in a DQ.
Look, someone's failing a drugs test. They're probably
Someone's
both missing weight,
by like 5 pounds each.
and
Yeah.
someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah, and someone's having like something in their gloves or something. Like something's going on. Like, man, like Neri. The thing is that Neri at featherweight, he's going to be tiny. Like, he'll be so small. He'll be so small. He knows what he's doing though. Like fighting a Japanese kid, Kameda. Like Kameda's obviously got that Kameda name. And this fight has been picked up in Japan. Like there's quite a lot of interest in it in Japan from what I'm seeing. Like he knows what he's doing. Like even if Nakatani was to move up, like Nakatani's debut at 122 against Neri, that would still.
Yeah, I mean, look, Neri is pretty well known in Japan, and I mean they hate him, but I think they respect him a little bit more now after the Inoue fight.
Yeah, definitely. Like he'll play a super villain well. Like he is that. Like he can do that. He can still be in big fights, and he's very very fun. Like I got a lot of shit on Twitter a few weeks ago. Like I'm just saying, boxing is better with Lewis Neri in it. Boxing is better with Lewis Neri in it. He's a really really fun fighter. He creates loads of headlines. There's always buzz around his events, like because he's just mad, especially when he's fighting this type of fighter. And like he just it's better with him in it. Like it just is. He's very very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like him because of what he did to Yamanaka, who was one of my favorite fighters at the time. But look, I'll watch his fights. Like he's like you can't miss a Neri fight.
He is a supervillain. That's what he is. He's a supervillain. Like he's a big name. Like look at the numbers generated for the Inoue fight. Like what she was saying, like $60 million. Like he's good for boxing, man. He's really exciting. He's fun. He's controversial. Like he's good for the sport. But yeah, Lewis Neri's going to win this fight via DQ because that's how it's going to be.
No.
Look,
Really, I think it'll stop him.
he's gonna win this fight by KO because he punches hard, and look, him being small, I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's gonna punch hard at featherweight as well.
Wouldn't surprise me if Kameda feels a punch and then just does some wild shit. To be honest, like, like he just is that type of guy.
Look, anything any Kameda does wouldn't surprise me.
Yep. I don't suppose any of you have, but have you seen the undercard for this fight?
Yes, I have, because I did the schedule.
Carlos Ocampo is on it randomly.
I saw. He was fighting TBA when I did the schedule. Is he still fighting TBA?
He's fighting Luis Enrique Montalongo, who is
Brilliant.
17-10 and lost. Oh, okay. The most notable name on his resume. Well, I suppose you could say Zambrano, but he lost to Carlos Campo in 2021, so this is a rematch.
Oh, fantastic.
Um,
Well, he's going to lose again, isn't he?
yeah. Emiliano Aguilon Castro is a middleweight, 10-0-1. He's a very, very good middleweight. He's only 19. And I remember a couple of years ago when he was 18, he beat up Aaron Silva. He was Golden Boy prospect at the time. He's a good fighter. He's on this undercard. Aaron Silva's on it as well, but the most notable name really is Frank Sanchez fighting a journeyman who's 18-24 and has been stopped 22 times in those 24 losses. Got stopped in a round by Kingsley eBay recently. So yeah, Frank Sanchez is back in the mix.
I wonder if he
Does he
has.
have both his knees?
Yeah, he got 2 working legs this time.
No, but it really. And by the way, this journeyman has fought at 160.
Brilliant. And this fight is a 6-round. It's a 6-round fight.
Yeah, it's a 6-round fight at heavyweight. He's going to get stopped in like 1 or 2 rounds. But it does always make me laugh that Frank Sanchez's BoxRec page says that he's 32 years old.
He's
That
obviously
makes me
47.
Just look at him. Like, Jesus. He's not 32. Yeah, Frank Sanchez can still be in fights, man. Like, just throw him in with random heavyweights. Like, I don't know, Frank Sanchez against Fabio Wardley or something.
Look, Caballero loses to Zhang. I want to see a Caballero versus Frank Sanchez rematch with 2
both
working
knees.
legs. With 2 working legs, I want to see a rematch. Like maybe it goes. He didn't really do much, but maybe it goes differently with 2 working legs. I mean, he couldn't fight how he fights.
Wanting to see Frank Sanchez fight, man.
Not like
What is
he
the
can be in
sport come
fights,
to?
man. It's heavyweight.
I know, just the phrasing. I want to see Frank Sanchez fight. It's just
when he's not fighting how he fights and actually throws punches, he's fine, and he can punch.
I
He
know
just
that Jogba fight performance was really good.
Why don't we do Frank Sanchez against Lawrence Bakole?
Why don't we not do that? I'd rather pour bleach in my eyeballs.
Yeah, that should be fun.
loser retires.
So does the winner.
Yes, this is a retirement fight. Jesus.
Anyway, right. There's nothing else on that card really. Just a load of random. There's going to be good fights on that card because, like, if you look at the BoxRec pages, like, quite a lot of the records are quite even. Like,
Just
there's a
look at
couple of unbeaten kids against unbeaten kids and like stuff like that. Like,
the
they're usually quite well known.
nationalities.
Yeah,
They're Mexican.
like,
They're gonna beat on each other.
yeah, like 1 or 2 lost Mexicans against 1 or 2 lost Mexicans. Like, they're usually quite fun, even if you have no idea who they are. But anyway, Monday the 24th of February at the Ariake Arena. It's a bantamweight night, I'd say. There's 3 top level bantamweight fights. Junto Nakatani defends his WBC title against David Cuellar. Seiya Tatsumi rematches Daigo Higa for the WBA title. And Tenshin Nasukawa fights Jason Maloney over 10 rounds in a WBO eliminator. To face Yoshiki Takai. We'll start with Junto, because he's the best fighter there. I think David Cuellar might be the best opponent in his career. I think
Definitely
David
one of
Cuellar is
the
very,
best.
very good, and he's big as well. Like, he's certainly the biggest opponent of Nakatani's career.
He is definitely one of the best. Just off name and stylistically, really.
Yeah, like icing Fuentes like he did, like beat Luis Concepcion. Like, he's one of these guys that's got quite a lot of fights. Like the Mexican sort of method of moving prospects. He's got loads of fights. Like 28-0 before he steps up for a title. Like, he's had a lot of 10-round fights. Been at distance a few times. Like, he's a good, solid fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him fight a couple times. I mean, he's not bad. I mean, he's pretty good. I mean, he's not crazy. But, I mean, he can do more than one thing. I mean, he's not just some one-dimensional fighter. Because like Nakatani, he likes to fight long. But, I mean, he's pretty comfortable up close. I mean, he's better than Nakatani up close.
I'd say Nakatani is too comfortable up close.
Yeah.
It's crazy to know that Cuellar is still only 23. I feel like he's been fighting forever.
Yeah, he made his debut in 2017
Which would have made him
when he
16,
was 15
17.
years old. He made his debut.
Well, you know, he's Mexican. That's no surprise.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think it's a good fight. It's a good opponent for Nakatani. I mean, it's not like the opponent that we would want, like, say, like a Nishida.
Or just like a
But,
unification at all.
or like someone on the card, like Satsumi. But it's a good fight. I mean, it's dangerous as well. I mean, he can punch.
Yeah. I think the issue with Cuellar, he crosses his feet quite a lot, and his defense isn't the best. And I think Nakatani's long straight shots are gonna pierce him through that. Yeah, that's the issue I have with it. I think he's good, but they're like two quite bad things to have against a long sort of straight puncher like Nakatani. If you're crossing your feet a lot, you know, your defense isn't the best. Like, Nakatani's gonna ping you from long range and get you coming in, and that's not gonna go well.
Yeah, because if it's a battle of fighting at long range, I mean, you're not gonna beat Nakatani at that. I mean, I know he does let people come close, but I feel like if he respects you and cares enough, like he did not against what's his face, Patch CP Freshmart, then he's going to like actually keep the distance, not let you close it. And I mean, we saw him let people come closer at the lower weights, but I mean, he was drained, and
He's
that's
still
fine.
drained now.
He is still drained.
Remember with Cuellar not too long ago, he went life and death with like a 40-year-old washed Luis Concepcion. Like that is like one of the better names on his resume, but he got hurt multiple times off of like a 10 to 12 year former champion.
Yeah, and like his last fight when he fought Jose Velasquez, I mean, he did hurt him numerous times, but couldn't stop him. But I mean, he did get hit quite a lot.
Also, don't blame him not stopping Velasquez. No one has done that yet.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
like that.
probably should have stopped him, but you know what
Also,
can you do?
he probably could have, but it's just he obviously does have some sort of chin to still have not ever been stopped.
That's the thing with Cuellar. Like, he does get hit way too much. Like, and yeah, that's gonna be his downfall. His lack of defense. Like, I think Nakatani's probably gonna stop him sort of mid to late rounds, sort of 8 or
Yeah,
9.
I was
I mean,
honestly really thinking a decision, Like he might box more, but Cuellar's defense is pretty nasty.
I think he'll box early, and then like as Cuellar sort of slows down a little bit, obviously that defense is going to get a lot leakier, and like he'll just get caught with something, and that will sort of be the beginning of the end. Like it's a bit different getting caught by guys in Mexico to being caught by Nakatani at full extension, and like you know, it's not gonna go too well for him if he sort of slows and his defense is all over the place. But yeah, it is still a very very good opponent. Like apart from the champions, like you say, I think that there's rumors that Nakatani's gonna fight Nishida in June. I just hope to God that's true because
Okay. Nishida cannot have more than 2 more fights at that weight,
yeah,
or he
Neither
will
can
just end up not
Nakatani.
making it. Yeah, they'll just end up not be able to do it physically.
yeah, and like you say with Saya, like he has to fight in a way again because Inoue gets privileges because of his brother.
He
No,
gets privileged because he's the better brother.
but, like he deserves a rematch. He just if he didn't fight like a jackass, he wouldn't have lost.
I mean, that was
Not
a
even
close fight.
Like like he was just showboating like way too much. Like if he just boxed like regular and wasn't showboating all the time, he would have won.
Look, well, in the rematch, we'll see if like he chose to fight like that or had no choice. And it was like Suksumi style that was making him fight like that. But I mean, I did see points in that fight where he actually boxed how we should have boxed
And even when
and
he
was
fought,
having success.
I was like, even when he fought his fight in spurts, he remember he hurt Satsumi early in the fight.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't think you can. You need to be able to keep Tatsumi off, and I don't think Inoue can. Like,
And I don't think
that's,
Higa can here either. To be honest,
but yeah,
like, I know that
probably the most exciting fight. Like I'd say Tatsumi against Daigo Higa, the rematch. The first fight was really good, and I thought Tatsumi won it, and I think it will go the same way. It was a draw the first time for those that don't know, and I think Tatsumi wins. But I think it's going to be really fun because they both have sort of the same style. Sort of. They'll
crouch
both.
volume punching. They'll probably
Yeah.
end up not doing not doing it for a while.
No, I think they will. I think this is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, I
I
hope
mean,
so.
I think this could be a leading fight of the year candidate. I mean, I can just envision them just sitting on each other's chest for the whole fight,
Like
just throwing punches.
even more than 2K.
Yeah, because Takei, I mean, he at least tried to box,
He
and
just
I
did
don't think,
a really bad job.
I don't think he is going to do that.
And Satsuma's not going to concede to do that either. He's
Like yeah,
that's
they're just gonna run at each other and just wing in loads of hooks like all night.
fingers
That's
crossed. There's no contest off a headbutt or something
hopefully.
crazy like that.
It's funny.
Yeah,
Like Tatsumi's a weird guy. Like he did an interview that I was reading, and he was basically saying he just doesn't believe in stances.
Yeah, he is just a no stance,
Like
squared up fighter.
he just said he doesn't believe in it, and like he just like he's gonna fight where the fight is, and like if they move, he's gonna stay there and fight, and like he's gonna run at you and fight. And like he just doesn't
Yeah,
believe in having a stance.
he fights like he doesn't need balance, really.
Yeah,
If he gets you on the ropes, he's not gonna care where his lead foot is. He's just gonna he's gonna try to hit you as much as he can while you're on that island.
yeah, he just wings in punches. Like
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
really, really fun to watch.
look, lucky for him, he does like most of his work up close, and you usually square up when you're up close.
And then Higa's obviously too small to not fight up close. So.
Like you're less likely to get caught off balance up close. So it's working for him so far. Eventually
I
it
think it'll
won't,
work.
but
I think
yeah,
it'll work.
it should work here. But the way they're gonna fight, it should work here.
Because Higa's just too small. Like the first fight, the first fight I fought, Tatsumi won, and Tatsumi's got a lot better since then. Like,
His offense, his defense.
oh yeah, his defense is non-existent. Like,
But his offense is defense, so it's just the same.
It's just tough with Higa because I bet if he was allowed to, he would want to try to move down because he's just entirely too small. But, like if there was to be, I don't think there'll be a knockout in the fight. I think Satsumi will win a decision. But if there was to be a knockout, I feel like Satsumi's going to get it. Really. Just off, just accumulation, really.
Yeah, just off him being like crazy
you
whirlwind.
100 punches a round. Oh, like thunder and
Higa's
body
got a chin
shots
and a half.
constantly.
Like,
Oh yeah.
he's really, really fun. I'm so happy he didn't retire.
Yeah, that would
I'm
have
so
been.
happy. Like,
He's still like
that's
really
actually a
young
fight.
too.
He's 29. They're the same age. They're 29.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's still young. You know what I really think would be a good fight? Luis Neri against Dago Higa.
Yeah.
That'd be like it wouldn't happen, but that'd be ridiculous.
Well, not for Higa's chin.
No, I would say I don't. I think it will be fun for like a really short amount of time, and then it wouldn't be because
I don't
He's
know,
small
one
man.
enough as
hundred.
it is.
Higa can catch him to
He's
the body.
look, he's small enough as it is a bantamweight.
I was like, yeah, Neri can't, but cannot be a bantamweight.
Like he can't make bantamweight, and Higa moving up to 122. Oh, yeah, he'll get iced. Like it'll be fun while it lasts
It would be
before he
really good.
dies,
It would be really
4
good.
rounds.
unless he gets iced early, which is a possibility.
There's like, it's weird because like all these guys have fought each other. Like Higa's lost to Kai, he's lost to Nishida, and now he's like probably gonna lose to Satsumi after already drawing with him. Like he's been through the ringer with these bantamweights, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, when do these type of fights catch up to him?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like he's
I don't think like it's gonna be this fight. I think it's gonna be competitive, but just lose the decision, just get outworked.
yeah, Higa's too no Tatsumi's too big, too strong, sort of thing. Like, yeah, I do think though, if you're Junto and Tatsumi comes through the Inoue rematch, you go all out to fight Tatsumi because he's perfect for Junto.
I mean, look, that could be like if he like doesn't respect Junto enough to actively keep distance in that fight, that could end up being really tough for him. If
I think
Suzuki can take his power,
it would end
I
up
know.
tough. There's no way Sutsumi just allows himself to sit on that. So he wouldn't be able to do literally anything. He'd bull rush him
look,
instantly.
yeah, but then Junto like on the counter. I mean, his counter is so
No.
fast.
You could just uppercut him and knock him out in the first round if you wanted to. Bro.
Like when he like just goes for that left hand counter that he iced Maloney with.
He arches
If he bull rushes, Suzumi's getting killed.
It's him having a better chance, like being on the inside than just sitting there waiting for him to get hit with a straight left hand or
Like he has
just
to hope
constant jabs.
that Junto just doesn't care about controlling distance, or
But
is like drained and doesn't have the energy to control the distance. Then he can give him a tough test.
don't like talking about this fight, but Anaguchi from Southpaw had enough success in that
Yep.
fight. I'm not like it's a sad fight to talk about, but Anaguchi had a lot of success. Speaking
And
purely from a boxing standpoint, right?
look, and what won him the fight? That's not going to happen against
Yeah,
Junto.
yeah.
You're not gonna score one knockdown, let alone four.
And Junto punches a lot harder than Anaguchi.
Yep.
But yeah, that'd be a really fun fight. But Junto would win. Like this, is the thing. Junto needs to get unification. But it's just frustrating because I don't know. I think he had a slightly overrated 2024.
He's kind of had a like slightly overrated career,
Oh,
to be honest.
no, his 2024 wasn't slightly overrated. His 2024 was very overrated. Very.
Like he beat
It's just
Santiago.
it's aged horribly. Like it's just
Well, look, I mean, Santiago was a good win at the time, so it's a good win. Didn't age very well. Him losing to some random guy in his next fight, and
Santiago was a pretty average champion though. Like he wasn't a
he was a good fighter that had been like jobbed a couple times.
yeah. Like
look,
he's pretty average.
all I'm saying is after he did that performance, and people are like, oh yeah, look, that's his best win. And if Alexandro Santiago is your best win, then that's not good.
After basically being like in the championship realm for 5 years, he need to step that up.
Like Santiago Acosta, Maloney, Magramo, and Astrolabio. That's about it, really. Like he's not.
Well, I mean, you've missed his best win, but yes. Chihuahua.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I
That's his best
always
win.
forget about that because he wasn't a title fight.
Well, I can't forget about that now, can I?
That's his only non-title fight in the past 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That always sticks in my mind. But yeah,
Which
that's
is funny that his only non-title fight is his best fighter, and he looked in one of the worst he's ever looked in that fight.
I'm getting like comments about that fight every 2 seconds. I post on YouTube.
It's like, yeah, he looked horrible in that fight. It's like,
I mean, he didn't look good, but at
it
least he
seemed
won.
in the Santiago fight, he kind of like separated himself, like with what do I say? He was like fighting at the level of his competition for like a couple
Yeah.
of those title fights. Like outside of like Maloney and like if he didn't like bust Acosta's nose wide open like so early, that fight would have probably been close. Cortez, he looked horrible. Salapat, like Freshmar, he didn't look good in that fight either. So
that fight. He was boxing like okay, and then like he couldn't put a dent in him, so he just decided to like set his feet and start winging punches in. And like it's just
getting
like
hit with ridiculous punches that should never touch him.
yeah, like it's just
He's only really outperformed. Like I don't really count Yamauchi. He's not that good of a fighter. And then like Maloney and Santiago, but obviously Santiago hasn't aged well, and Andrew Maloney. So
No, like he's a great fighter, but he's very inconsistent. And the problem is he's being inconsistent against not like great fighters.
like you get a little bit of a pass if you weren't always your best fighting. Like if you were fighting a fighter as good as like Chihuahua and not looking the best all the time, then sure. But you're not. You're fighting RG Cortez and Petch CP freshman who's like has like 70 debutante wins. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, it's not. He's good, man, but like, just get a Nishida fight, please, or a Tatsumi fight, or just fight someone.
Yeah, because like if he fights like an Ishida, like it's when he's gonna step it up. I believe. Like he's really gonna show us how good he is. Like maybe he just does fight to the level of his competition.
I think he is one of those fighters who's just outside of those like two fights, like in the fight, he like finally like separated himself. But from the last 5 years, most of the fighters he's just fought at that level.
Like
And it's
I guess he rated Santiago, so he actually put together like that's his best performance. Well, maybe not. Maybe Maloney. He kind of bad Maloney.
that's
And
why I'm
iced him.
pointing out those two fights. It's like those were his two fights where he separated himself, and they're not the greatest fighters either. So
Well, at least he like beat Chiwa, unlike some other Japanese fighter
whoa, chill.
that got a gift against him
Chill.
and looked even worse than Nakatani.
Chill.
But then got robbed against Puma, so it is what it is. I'm
Whoa.
joking.
Oh,
I'm joking.
Oh man. I would have
um,
popped the blood vessel on my neck just now. Oh god.
but yeah, I don't know. I think Rodriguez is going to go and beat your fight though, so that wage well if your fight takes that fight, which I'm not sure he will. But anyway, so the next fight on this card, Tenshin Nasukawa against Jason Maloney in a WBO eliminator. I really do like this fight, and I think it's perfect for Tenshin. I think Maloney's sort of faded, definitely faded. And I think he's not the same after the Sanchez fight. And I think this is the perfect time for the Tension to test himself against the faded Maloney.
I was gonna say that Sanchez fight. People don't talk about that fight too often. Like, well, not at all, really. That fight was one insane and two just like he. I think Maloney is better than Takai, but that like 3.5 month turnaround after that, he should have never fought him like that quickly after that. That fight you should take
Yeah,
at minimum 6 months out the ring after that. You even take
yeah,
4.
that's
So,
like Ohashi answered it. Ohashi knew what they were doing with that. Like they saw that and then saw a chance for Takai to get a title and have a really good win and thought, yeah, we'll do that.
which he nearly didn't win. Like at the end, if there was one more round in that fight, he's not winning. Like, there was another minute left in that fight, he wouldn't have made it to the end. So, like, it's crazy to think like 1 minute we couldn't even be talking about this fight. Maloney might still be a champion right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, Maloney should have had an easy touch after that. I mean,
Even
look,
if he did have an easy touch, he just should have took more time out, like out of the ring.
Takai's not good, like skillfully, but I mean, he's explosive and he's a good athlete and he can punch really hard. Don't go in with that guy.
He didn't show like really
And he's
any of that
long
in
as
that fight
well.
though. He just was Maloney was just like gun shy the entire time. He like fought the opposite fight he did against Sanchez. It's like the Sanchez fight like just depleted him of all like punch mechanics.
I mean, he couldn't really get close anyway. I mean, Takai's pretty good at fighting up close when he wants to, I guess, or when he can.
So with tension, I just feel like he's gonna be able to like basically freeze or like split in half all of Maloney's like
And
usual
Takai's
work.
unorthodox as well. That's one thing about Takai.
I mean, tension's pretty. I mean, he's not like as unorthodox. I mean, he's pretty unorthodox, I guess. That was the kickboxer in them.
Whenever they make that fight, that's gonna go crazy. It's gonna be in the dome and everything.
Well, it's a big step. It's a smart step up, but it's a big step up. So I mean, he's either gonna like just dominate. I mean, he's gonna be so quick. Like, he's gonna be like 2 steps ahead of, or 3 steps ahead of Maloney for the whole fight, or just be too experienced.
I was like, it's in between him shining and looking like an insane already like championship caliber fighter, or he might just lose. Like it's that big. Like
Like he could win. I mean, he could win a competitive fight. I don't know. Would it be better for him to win a competitive fight or just dominate? I don't know.
it would make sense. Like he wouldn't be like criticized too bad if he had a competitive fight and just won a like close decision.
Because I mean, eventually you want to see like how he's going to react to like a tough fight or getting hit by someone like that. And it's good to dominate. I mean, like, yeah, sure, if you dominate a Jason Maloney, that looks good. But there's a lot of questions that still won't be answered. And that could get answered by someone just better, I guess. Somebody who hits harder, more dangerous. And maybe he can take them in that fight, but we don't know. Maybe he doesn't know.
Maloney's a pretty like basic up and down fighter, but he's like pretty damn good at that.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's just a really well schooled fighter. Like, he's good at most stuff. Well, he can box and he can fight on the inside. He can counter punch. I mean, he's not like the biggest puncher, but I mean, he's not.
Yeah, he's like not great at everything, but he's not really bad at anything. He has a good chin, not horrible. He has good fundamentals, not elite. He is like he's like just like 7, 8 out of 10 at everything.
Like, he's not like some crazy athlete or physically gifted, but he's learned the boxing fundamentals. That's what you do. You learn the boxing fundamentals, especially if you're not a crazy athlete.
It's just tension has learned boxing in a whole separate way, and that's probably what's gonna like separate him with this because it's just such an unorthodox like task to fight up against someone who fights like him. Just relies a lot on speed and movement. But
Like
Yeah, I mean, just
Maloney
you go,
at
Thomas.
34. At 34, he's been at bantamweight his whole career, has he? He actually started off at super bantamweight. He's been at bantamweight or super bantamweight his whole career. He's coming off a war which I thought he lost, but it is what it is. That fight was fine going to Maloney the way it did, but I thought he lost to Sanchez. Losing to Takai like that, I just think it's perfect timing. This sport's about timing a lot of the time, like when you're going to go with a fighter and put them in. And they've got Maloney at exactly the right time. And I really do think tension's going to look good.
I do
I
think
think
tension is good. I just
Maloney's might
go ahead.
like I think he might be a shot fighter. Like not totally shot, but I think he's definitely on the slide. And I think the 8-9 months inactivity, whatever it is, and like 34 years old, you've lost your last fight, you may be lacking a little bit of motivation. Like, yeah, it's just not everything's against Maloney here. Everything.
And that's why he's going to be determined to prove everyone wrong. Like, I mean, on paper, I don't know, on paper, it's a very smart fight for tension. It really just depends, because sometimes tension can look like crazy, like, oh damn, but then sometimes it's like he doesn't look that good, and you can just see that he's still transitioning properly, still
I,
learning
I think
boxing.
in this fight he's allowed to not look insane, but he most likely will.
I think the 10 rounds against the CO, like that got a lot of like criticism at the time. But I think that 10 rounds against the CO will do really, really well there.
Look, any rounds he can get in pro boxing is good. Like,
Especially
even
when
if
you're
he doesn't look
5
great.
and
Yeah, I mean, look, because you can train all you want, like, spar all you want, but a fight is just different. Like, that's where you learn a lot of stuff in the fight. It's just, can he do it against this guy?
I think he will. I just don't. I think he will have a not. I don't think this is the fight where he's gonna look like he's gonna shine, like like knock Maloney out or like showboat and like win every second of the fight against him. I think he'll win like a competitive like 7-3 decision.
Well, I mean, so far, the fights that we thought would be tough have
Are the ones
been pretty
treated
easy.
like nothing.
And the fights that we think are going to be easy have been tough. So, yeah, he's going to ice Maloney in a couple rounds.
It's that would be the British way.
Oh, maybe, maybe he's another guy who fights at the level of his competition.
I think, yeah, it's a good step up. I think he wins though, and then I think he goes and beats Takai. I think Tension's a terrible style for Takai. I think that is obviously the fight they're building towards, and I think Tension wins that fight, and it's a really, really big fight. Like Takai's headlining in May, and then they'll do that fight second half of the year, and it'll be quite big.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to see how he looks in this fight first to see who I think is going to win. But, I mean, I don't think Takei's that good from a boxing skill wise standpoint.
I don't think either are that good, but I just think Tension's like better fundamentally, and it's just Sakai is weird, man. He's a weird fighter.
Tension has room to grow. I feel like Takei isn't really going to improve off this point. The way he fights now is just the way he fights, and it's just not. It's just not how you should be fighting.
I'm going the world title, so I guess it's good enough. Not gonna.
I know, but he wasn't even impressive in the title fights he's had. So, like, it's hard and like determination in
outside of
those
the
fights.
12th, outside of the 12th round against Maloney, I mean, he looked good.
He looked better than Maloney because Maloney wasn't throwing any punches, but he didn't look dazzling. He just.
Well, he's never gonna look dazzling.
I know.
I mean, he looks
said
good enough.
he's shown more heart than skill as a champion, is what I'm saying. I don't think he can improve on skill anymore.
I mean, maybe like small things like footwork, maybe, but I mean, he's not gonna like change the way
I know it's like
he fights or change the way he throws punches.
he's too far in his career to just be not him. Like that. This is just who he is.
He can definitely like improve on not necessarily how, but when he throws punches. Because like
His timing is like pretty bad.
yeah, but he gets way too much. He gets way too involved in certain points. Like someone gets on the inside, and then instead of sort of clinching or sort of moving to the side or doing anything, he'll just square up and swing. Like he should.
If he had bantamweight power, he wouldn't be champion right now, probably.
Yeah.
Look, I think he just panics whenever anytime anyone gets close to him.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he lunges at people trying to get him away. Like he's trying to just kill him. and just get him away from. And then that's why he like just circles the ring so much without really doing anything at points. It's just not really great to watch sometimes, but yeah, like it just depends on how tension looks in the next couple of fights. Like if he has one or two more fights after this one, uh, before he fights a Takei.
I
I
mean,
think I
I
won.
think. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins this fight and then fights the cage straight after.
I wouldn't be either, but I need to see him. I need either to see him have like this huge leap in this Maloney fight to be confident, like be 100% confident in my tension decision prediction if they fight. But I probably I'm like 60-70% there already.
Yeah.
But definitely it should be good.
It should be a good fight.
It's a good card.
I will actually stay up for it, unlike that Inoue Kim debacle.
Where are they showing this? Is this on Unext?
It's on Sky and Amazon.
Oh, I meant in Japan. So Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch, the full card, you're gonna have to watch on Amazon because they will not be showing that on Sky or ESPN Plus.
I think the
snag
Sky comes on at 8 o'clock, which I think is
snag
just
that
about
link.
right.
Gotta snag that link.
Sky, because the international feed usually has it all. Like they'll have all 3 fights. Like
Yeah, but then on Amazon they'll have all of the fights. How many fights are on the card? 6.
Mm-hmm. You know, with those Japan cards, they might not even show all of the undercard, like all the like non-main fights anyway.
yeah, they usually don't.
They might show one of them.
Well,
Truthfully,
I mean,
they might show none of them. Like it's not like they're not. They might have like picked like a. They picked like a 10 rounder, like or like a competitive 8 rounder, then they might have put it on here. But there's like a 6 rounder and just 2 not like meaningless 4 rounders. So it might
It's
just
not.
be the 3 main fights.
Hopefully, like I've got my own thoughts about the length of boxing broadcasts, and I think there's a lot of it isn't that good and doesn't need to be on TV. But that's a separate point. Like yeah, it's a good show. I think, like we said, Tatsumi against Higa is going to be a really good fight. Nakatani against Cuellar is going to be interesting. Watch it last, but Nakatani should win pretty comfortably. And yeah, Tension Maloney is a quite intriguing crossroads fight. It's a really good step up. And if Maloney's fighting for his career, like essentially at the top level,
Bro, because if he doesn't like at least like like have it close or really win, I don't really want to see him fight anymore.
yeah, like he's
Because he already took probably a couple years off his life with the Sanchez fight, and then he'll just end up being the gatekeeper, really. And I just don't want to.
yeah he'll start getting served up.
I don't think he deserves that. So yeah,
He'll start getting served up to like every Japanese prospect that 118 going.
yeah.
Because
I don't want to see him do that.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, it should be good. It should be a good card. Obviously, there's a lot of boxing this weekend. We've got an episode out on the Riyadh card tomorrow. And yeah, we'll be back Sunday night to review that. So yeah, thank you for listening.
no, we won't. We'll be back on Monday.
Monday. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Monday. We'll be back on Monday to review that and this. probably. But yeah,
Yes.
thank you for listening.
See you in episode 36.